Alright, for this video we will be discussing how to grade your cards. And when I say grade your cards, is it lightly played, new mint, moderate play, or heavily damaged? We're going to go from the TCG Player's Guide. It's available to sellers, but I'm not exactly sure if there's a link to it for non-sellers. But in the description, I will provide that. I've been selling TCG cards for about over a year now on both eBay, TCGPlayer, and on my own website. I've been pretty successful with this for a while. There's always some people who have disagreements on what is lightly played or near mint. So let's go over it. Alright, the big thing that a lot of people think makes your card completely dookie is the curling, which will occur with hollows, especially in Magic cards, because they're slightly too thin to really hold up against the curving of the foil paper. Now, this also does occur for Japanese cards and Korean cards quite a bit. What I have seen on Band-Aid cards, because how thick those cards are, curling is not a thing. At least for the ones that I've dealt with. And that's including Japanese Gundam cards, which I sell cases of. So check that out on my website for $60. Alright, so that is like one of the biggest things. The centering, the 70-30, like you'll notice if it's not centered. And that's actually could be a selling point for some people, because some people do chase misprinted cards. I actually saw this really cool one not too long ago where the black tracing came after the color, so it was on top of it and it was slightly off. It looked fantastic. Like, this is how the card should have been printed. Totally off topic. So let's look at near mint. Even from their own picture that they're showing to us here, near mint kind of shows like there's some damage on the corners here. Like, if you would show a normal person a card and say that's near mint for that kind of nicks up there, you'll go, oh, that's lightly played. And honestly, I would feel that it's lightly played too. But under the TCG player standards, it's 3 points. So you could have one low nick up here and one low nick up here and still be considered near mint. And they have to be minor scratches, slight crups, all this other stuff like that. I think this has a little bit better pictures. You see, talk about that curving. They go from this near mint card up here, which doesn't show any like damages at all. It would have been nicer if they had one that had minimum like 2 marks, to Mick Ruffed card over here. It's like, oh, dude, what happened over here, guy? But that definitely gives you an idea of what a heavily played card ought to look like. It looks like it has been through the ringer. And this is called a damage card. Don't even try to sell that kind of stuff. Or if you are selling it, especially on TCG Player, because there's no pictures, provide a picture to your customer and be upfront about that. It's better to use a sell but gain the trust of the person, because there's a good chance that they might come back because they know that I rather sacrifice a sell to make sure that they have a good time. So going back to this PDF. So lightly played. Honestly, if you saw like some marks like that on a card, I would honestly say that's more moderately played, but under TCG's guidelines, that's a lightly played card. It's up to 6 points of imperfections. Now, these are all minor defects. So, but minor is a subjective word to a point. So I wish it was more legal talk, like very dot thing. Coming from an engineering background, that's something I prefer, especially in the network. So now going to moderate played, looks pretty scruff, up to 12 points, and it's still moderate. So with minor grime. So the funny thing about grime is you can wash that off and don't put it underneath the sink. You just get a. I've seen YouTube videos of those cleaning kits and stuff like that. I don't ever do that because the vast majority of the cards that I purchase or I own, straight open, looking for cool shit, and then sold to me as bulk because that they were just looking for the good hits, because they're gold miners. And I've been selling my own personal collection, and I was not a player, so I would open up, put it into the sleeves that were either provided or bought penny sleeves, and just store it to look at. Now, heavily played and damaged, those are honestly, even lightly played, I would be hesitant to sell. But moderate played and heavy played and damaged, unless it's like a super rare card, I would not even touch. Or I wouldn't even try to sell. It would just go into my personal collection because I have some roughed up cards that are from the early or the late 1990s. That is like, yo, I really would like to sell this, but it looks rough. So like a heavily played is 24 points. So it's been through the freaking it's been through Omaha Beach over here, like this bad boy. So like, okay, so you got the heavily played. Now, a lot of people kind of focus just on the front of the card when determining if it's near mint or lightly played. The back of the card, that blue, that does rub off a lot easier than the rest of the card. So you have to keep an eye out on that and be honest about it, because you're going to have a lot more damages on the back. I'm just being honest about that, especially if you didn't have it sleeved up. Now, I do think in the future, like 5 years, 10 years down the line, we're going to have a lot more near mint cards than normal because everyone's kind of keeping their cards well kept. There's not as many people just playing for their cards. So, yeah, that's basically all I really wanted to do because I've seen a lot of Facebook people complaining about, especially the bowing, and like they even showed the magic cards. They're kind of notorious for that. I had a set of the Surge foil Warhammer 40k Necron cards, and it was rough. But if I would have actually sold that deck, I think it was like an $800 deck of cards for each individual card if I sold them all, which is wild. But just go and check Poke News, and I thought this was kind of illustrating because I'm going to be adding more lifestyle stuff on my website. So like cell phone cases, keychains, and such for Pokemon, Gundam, One Piece, and other things that I just kind of like. I want to expand the store not to just be TCG, but more encompassing everything I kind of want, and eventually weight training stuff because I need to get back into good shape. But anyways, so the skateboard company in Santa Cruz is going to be releasing a new skateboard design, which is pretty nice. I think it's pretty sick. Actually, it's releasing a few of them. Looks like a Season in Flames, Squirtle. Hopefully it's a Squirtle. Hopefully it's not that Water EV one. But yeah, they look pretty sick. Honestly, yeah, let's see those. Honestly, that Pikachu just hang up on a wall would look awesome. Oh, honestly, shoot. If I had like a actual person store, I would definitely put these up on my walls. It's sort of like having I used to surf when I was living in Hawaii, and now I don't. So I just kind of keep my surfboard on the wall. So yeah, definitely the Sloriax. Why was that so hard to remember? The Mew Charizard. But do you have the? Oh, they don't have the. Okay, so I do like this evolution of the this bad boy. I'm so bad for the names, but I like the sea dragon dude a lot. I like the art for him. But yeah, I think these would be pretty successful for people to buy. For a half second there, they kind of look small, so I was thinking they were fingerboards. Honestly, fingerboards would probably sell like a motherfucker. Honestly, they should make fingerboards. But yeah. So definitely check out Pico Beach for this. Alright, thank you very much, and you have a good one. Also, buy from my store. That'd be super awesome.